Alright, what's going on YouTube? Tom here, and today I'm finally gonna do the review I promised you all on this car. So if you're new to my channel, this is my girlfriend's 2018 Toyota Camry. So let's do a little walk around of the car first. Now this car is actually the Camry SE, so it's actually one trim kind of above the base model. In Toyota, they have the LE as the base. There is technically the L model, which is if you find one, that is the true base model, which is basically the LE without options. This grille here. See, now the SE has a bit of a different grille design than the LE. Basically, you get now two different grille shapes. Actually, I think this looks a lot better than the LE model. The LE is kind of the more refined, less sporty looking Camry than this one. Alright, then we come around here, you've got these wheels that are actually very similar to the 86 design, in a way. Down across here, the car's a little dirty right now. This being the SE, it's got these little rocker panels. This car, of course, gets the pinstripe. Seems like the dealers love to put on. Then, of course, you get this spoiler here. Come down here, and then you got this kind of diffuser. This being an SE, it gets the dual tips, and if you get the XSE, you get quad tips. And then whether that's a V6 or a 4-cylinder. Now, then we're going to do a little bit of kind of Matt Moran style here. We're going to talk about the key fob. Nice little bit of weight to it, not too terrible. Toyota logo, and this is actually a first for Toyota. Switchblade key, and of course you got just your standard stuff here, your lock, unlock, your trunk, and the panic button. Pretty simple little key, not too over the top. So let's look at the interior. So we take the key, unlock it. Alright, coming inside here. Oh, still got that new car smell too. God, that's amazing compared to the smells in her old car. Got this touch screen in here. It's pretty decent. And your gauge cluster here, you've got your little screen there and your tachometer and your speedometer. So on the screen, they do that little startup thing. I kind of wish they would get rid of that in a way, but Toyota probably won't. And of course you got your little hit the thing here. A pretty standard touchscreen these days. I think this one's more of an updated one from the older Toyotas. They didn't really reinvent the screen as much in this car, which actually I like, because some of these screens, they've just gone way off the deep end, decided they need to completely redo it, and then it ends up being buggy. This one is actually pretty good. It's nice and lag free. There is no Bluetooth device connected. You got your music, you go back to the menu here, you got your apps and all that. Infotainment here, again we have to have a phone connected for that, but there are some apps. And it's got Toyota's Entune system in it, which I think is pretty good. It's kind of comparable to Ford's Sync system, roughly. The only downside I really had with this screen was when it got set up immediately. The salesman at the dealership set it up for us. Every time my girlfriend got an email for the first week or so, it was dinging at her, let her know she had an email, and she didn't know how to set this up, so I had to come in and figure out how to try to turn that off so she didn't get the dings every time she got an email. Alright, moving on to the steering wheel here. Again, we're going to do a little more Matt Moran style, talking about the buttons. First time I got into this car, I thought, wow, this is a very busy steering wheel. It's got buttons all over. Now, Toyotas all used to have the cruise control. The only reason I ever noticed it was always there on Toyota was my uncle talked about having test-driven a Lexus in 1997 and made a comment how all Toyotas still have it. Well, sorry, Uncle Ralph, the Switch is now gone. It is now up on your steering wheel, but it's the same functionality. You've of course got your setup for the collision warning. Then you've got the lane departure warning. You got all that over here. Then you've got your Bluetooth controls. This car, you can talk to it like most cars where you tell it to do something and it does it. And of course this car has the paddle shifters, which these paddle shifters, when shifting, they're not like sports car shifters. They're not immediate. They do take a second, but compared to how you're really going to drive a Camry, they're not necessarily a bad thing. They do everything you need it to do, if you even use them. So, and to be honest, most Camry owners will not be using these paddle shifters. They're kind of there for fun. You mess with them one time when you first get the car, and you never use them again. So, I think they're pretty good. You come up to here. No lights on the vanity, which actually was a little bit of a negative to me, because I'm thinking my Tacoma has that. Come over here, you've got your Bluetooth speaker. These buttons for the little lights, and these are LEDs now. One criticism I have, again though, is these are LED, and that looks amazing. But then you come over here to this dome light, and it's still just a regular, bright yellow incandescent. So, I kind of wish, like, if you're gonna do LEDs, do them all around. Another criticism I have is you pay extra for this particular trim, and this is just your standard mirror. You don't get a power mirror with this. No compass, nothing. The only thermometer you get is on the center screen thing here. So I thought, well, wait a minute here. You're paying so much extra. You pay, even the Tacoma, again, a Tacoma has it. But, and you open it up, you got a single sunglass holder, 2 cup holders. Open this up, you got a little storage space here. Not bad, as you can see, it's active. If I can close this now, it's kind of, you're gonna have to open it and then reclose it. It's a little interesting quirk for Doug DeMuro types. And then you got your USB, your aux cable, and your power outlet. Not too much. Alright, let's move on to the back seat. What are you doing? Just checking your phone now? Budgeting. You get a car like this, you almost have to budget. Also, just moving on to the back seat.
Oh, my car is a mess.
Oh, don't worry about it. It's a Camry in its natural environment. This is me sitting behind her seating position. As you can see, this is like a limousine back here. This has a lot of space. This has a standard center armrest, which you can't really pull out because of the car seat. Well, you can, but 2 cup holders, just nothing too special, just like every other Camry. And if you don't have a car seat, the seats do fold flat, which is great, because then you can fit some decently large loads in this car. Get out of the back seat, and I'm going to show you all the trunk. Toyota decided to move everything from the floor, like it was in previous Camrys, up to here. You do have automatic high beams in this car, but it's one of those things I don't know if I would use right away. Push the trunk button. The trunk opens right up. So you can see here, you can fit your groceries, your shopping, your dead bodies. I mean, what? Yeah, so you can fit pretty much anything you want in here. This is, I don't have an exact number for cargo space, but I'll put it, in the text here once I look it up. But you can fit a lot of stuff back here. This is pretty good for a trunk here. And seems like it's going away. But you do get all of your stuff here. And it's kind of hard to do with one hand, but I'll attempt to it. But you do get, lift all this up, a spare tire. Not a full-size one, but then again, they're never full-size anymore. Okay, close the trunk. And of course your little emergency release. If they're still alive. I'm sorry, what? Okay, and then last but not least, show you all this motor, because this is a stupid bugs. Stupid love bugs. Get rid of those in a second. Somewhere you got your hood release. Again, this might be one of those where it's better to do without one hand. Better to do when you're not one-handed, but there it is. Unlike the Tacoma, there is no hood prop, which is great. Your Toyota, why do you still have a hood prop on the Tacoma? Here it is. Once again, 203 horsepower, so you get best in class naturally aspirated horsepower. What I really like is this is a Toyota, therefore real easy to maintain here. You got your air filter over here, 2 little latches, that's all you got to do. You got your dipstick right up front. Your battery is right here, no hunting for a battery. You got your fuses. Pretty simple engine bay, there's no complicated parts about it. I mean, it's an engine. Most Camry owners aren't really gonna care about their engine, so just close that. Now, since we actually have errands to run, let's go take this thing for a drive. Now we're out for a drive. Hopefully you all can see me over here. I know some of y'all are gonna be looking at her. What? So no, I'm always looking at her. Anyway, Camry. You got any comments on how this car drives, or?
I love my car. It is my absolute favorite thing to do, drive around. And I used to hate driving too. So.
Believe me, with that last car, it was pretty horrible. So yeah, you got these paddle shifters here, which I know I mentioned them. Pretty nice, because when I drive this car, I like to mess with them. Never owned a car with paddle shifters, so I'm just like, these are awesome. They don't really do a whole lot. God, acceleration is amazing in this car. Got way more acceleration than any other Camry has ever had, and it's actually quite amazing. Handling wise, now I'm not going to try to say this handles like a sports car or anything, but compared to old Camrys, it's a lot better. Camrys used to always kind of be floaty all over the road, and there was always this general sense of disconnection with the road. This car, they fixed a lot of that. And on top of that, this is the SE, so this has got sport suspension, if you ask Toyota. And guess who always ends up speeding when she drives the car?
Oh, yeah, I get it.
Anyway, the car's quick. I don't have like any way to record 0 to 60, but take my word for it. For a Camry, if you buy a 4-cylinder, you'd be pleasantly surprised. And the V6, even better. Like, I drove a V6 last year as a 17 model, and it was just, I was in shock that was even a Camry. It was like, this is a Camry? Wow, that acceleration, it literally pushes you back in the seat, almost like you're driving an actual sports car. But turn signals, you also have the one-touch turn signals. We have never figured out how to use them yet, but they're there. She doesn't do a lot of highway driving.
Yeah, I don't think.
Actually, you do 0 highway driving. But this car does have the radar-guided cruise control. I forgot what the exact term is for it, but radar-guided, which is pretty great when you get out on the interstate. You set it to a speed, and the car holds the speed for you, and it's amazing because if the car in front of you slows down, old-fashioned cruise controls, you're always messing with your cruise control, turning it off. This car slows down for you, and it's amazing. So that's the advantage of a car like this. You're getting all the technology if you get the SE. But yeah, this car is her. Of course, it's her daily driver. She drives this to work every day. As she said, she hated driving her little Hyundai. That thing was just, not only was it a death trap, it was horrible to drive. Classic 2000s, horrible. Beige on beige. It's that ambiguous grayish beige color.
My son likes this car too. He likes to go really fast.
Oh, of course he does. Believe me, her son's like Ricky Bobby. I want to go fast, I want to go fast. Believe me, he loves it. And believe me, that's an important customer right there. Yeah, overall, what would you rate this car if you were to give it a rating out of 10?
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10, there we go. Yeah, this is a Camry, and this isn't a dealer car or anything. I'm not driving this from a dealer. That's why I wanted to not drive it at the dealer again. I wanted to drive it her car just because this is a real world car. This is an actual Camry owner. So I'm just letting you all know. I've heard some people ask, should I get a Camry or a Tacoma? I'm telling you, either one, you're covered. So Toyota, it's legendary on the reliability. So Toyota rates this car at 33, I believe, city, and then 39 highway. And the engine, it's the dual injected engine, which is actually, you probably don't even know what that means, but it switches between port and direct injection, which Toyota markets as self-cleaning direct injection. It's supposed to be more efficient at various load settings and various conditions. Switches between whichever one is more efficient at that particular setting. Now we're just driving along normally and it's in eco mode. I switch over to sport mode. Use these paddle shifters and really use the car. Now what I like about these paddle shifters, if you do accidentally hit them when you're in eco mode, it will let you have control of the gears. But then after a couple seconds, it goes back to just normal driving, which I like a lot because some people with paddle shifters will hit them, and I've seen many people over-rev the engine, so smart on Toyota. Anyway, anyone's interested in buying a 2018 Camry, let me know below. If you got any questions or concerns, go ahead and drop them in the comments section below. If you like this video, go ahead and leave a thumbs up. If you're stopping in for the first time, go ahead and subscribe. Help this channel grow. Check me out on Instagram. I got a link for that below. If you want to see more videos with her,